Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's November 15th, 2024, and we are in the Old Testament book of Isaiah. We're reading again. We're going to read chapter 2 again. We've read it at the beginning of the year, but see, Isaiah started writing about 760 BC. We went through all the Chronicles and Prophets all the way to Malachi in about 400 BC. Which was right before we have that blank intertestamental period where we have no messages from God. And all of those prophets after Isaiah touch on Isaiah's prophecy. So that's a good reason to go back and look at it. Yesterday we looked at how Isaiah was calling out the people of Judah and saying, you know what, you're going through the motions, but you're not really worshiping God. You just be paying lip service to God. This section we're getting into 2, God is going to remind them through Isaiah of the promise of his final kingdom coming to earth. We saw that in Malachi. So 400 years after Isaiah prophesied it, Malachi was still saying the same prophecy essentially. People just didn't get it. In fact, I don't think we get it today. God is still trying to tell us, hey, you know what? Stop giving me lip service. Worship me the way I told you to worship me. And stay true to me the way I've asked you to stay true to me, and you will make it to the promised land. If you don't, then you won't. So it's as simple as that. So let's go ahead and we're going to read Isaiah chapter 2. The word that Isaiah the son of Amoz saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. Now it shall come to pass in the latter days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established on the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow to it. Many people shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. He will teach us his ways, and we shall walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. He shall judge between the nations and rebuke many people. They shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. O house of Jacob, come and let us walk in the light of the Lord. For you have forsaken your people, the house of Jacob, because they are filled with eastern ways. They are soothsayers like the Philistines, and they are pleased with the children of foreigners. Their land is also full of silver and gold, and there is no end to their treasures. Their land is also full of horses, and there is no end to their chariots. Their land is also full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. People bow down, and each man humbles himself. Therefore do not forgive them. Enter into the rock and hide in the dust from the terror of the Lord and the glory of his majesty. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of the Lord of hosts shall come upon everything proud and lofty, upon everything lifted up, and it shall be brought low, upon all the cedars of Lebanon that are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan, upon all the high mountains, and upon all the hills that are lifted up, upon every high tower, and upon every fortified wall, upon all the ships of Tarshish, and upon all the beautiful sloops. The loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be brought low. The Lord alone will be exalted in that day, but the idols he shall utterly abolish. They shall go into the holes of the rocks, and into the caves of the earth, from the terror of the Lord and the glory of his majesty, when he arises to shake the earth mightily. In that day a man will cast away his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each for himself to worship, to the moles and bats, to go into the clefts of the rocks and into the crags of the rugged rocks, from the terror of the Lord and the glory of his majesty, when he arises to shake the earth mightily. Sever yourselves from such a man whose breath is in his nostrils, for of what account is he? May God bless the reading of his word. May God bless you. Bye.